यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज Prabhupada.
Thank you so much. I tell you, you and Tara Paul, you're getting better and better and better, both of you. Every time there's a little bit better. This is good. We're making progress. Okay, Neha, let's get that book.
Yes, Prabhuji. From Jayatirtha Enumerated.
I'm logging. Okay, Jayatirtha. Let me put this aside. Okay. Jayatirtha enumerates various reasons why he thought the devotees should be allowed to continue doing business. I understand from several recent letters from Your Divine Grace to Satsvarup Maharaj that you are not very anxious to see business going on in the society except for the book distribution business. I understand your objections, but I would like to make a few points in relation to the business currently going on in the zone. The business are handled by Gihastras and would generally not be engaged in sanctum activities otherwise. If they make a request to stop doing business, engage in direct preaching work, we move to facilitate this. The business makes substantial contributions to the temples, and in this way allow the temples to distribute more books. I have seen that in the temples that are depending completely on Sankirtana for all expenditures, there are usually debts, and at the same time, the preachers are forced to concentrate and collect money rather than distribute books. Another advantage is that it provides opportunity to engage Gehastras in the activities that are beneficial to the movement, rather than simply living off the temples. At the same time, they are able to associate with other devotees, make it easier for them to maintain the Krishna consciousness than it would if they had to work at karmic jobs. Finally, he ended his report with another suggestion for relocation of the Dallas Gurukul, this time to a large property in Santa Cruz. It will cost a large amount of money to continue to maintain the Dallas operation and start a new Gurukula, and a BBT loan would be required to cover the costs. So he wanted to know if what Srila Prabhupada desired in this respect. The Prabhupada had already sent a length outline to him about the Gurukula a few days ago, which Jayatit obviously hadn't received when he wrote this letter. Nevertheless, Prabhupada answered his questions, presenting a perfect solution to several dilemmas. He cleverly linked up the business aspirations of the Gihasas with a proclivity to have children, who then require education. You have suggested that some men are best engaged in doing business. I agree. All Gehastas who are interested in doing business should do so in full swing. Yet, karosi yad asnashi, yad juhosi dadasi yad. Yad tapasyasi kaunteya tat krushva madarpanam. Let this be the guiding principle. So let all the Gihasas who wish to execute business full-fledged in the USA and in this way support Gurukul. The business must be done by the Gihastras, not by the sannyasis or brahmacharis. Neither the sannyasis or brahmacharis can be expected to support Gurukula. The parents must take responsibility for their children, otherwise they should not have children. It is the duty of the individual parents. I am not in favor of taxing the temples. The parents must pay for the maintenance of the children. Neither can the BBT be expected to give any loans. Now, the BBT 50% for construction project is pledged to the projects in India, Bombay, Kurukshetra, Mayapur. The profits from business should first go to support Gurukul. and balance may be given for the local temple's maintenance. Grihastas can do business. It is best if the temple presidents are either sannyasi or brahmacharis. If the grihastas want to do book distribution, they should give a commission of 5 to 10%, of which part must go to the Gurukul. Prabhupada told him that important temple personnel can be maintained by the temple. He also suggested that by farming and selling the produce, grihastha can make a living. I can give you good suggestions, he said, but it's up to the GBC to practically execute them. A third report also arrived from Jagadish, who dwell mainly on the situation of the Gurukula in Dallas. The drawing up plans for extensive renovation and expansion of the present facilities to bring it in line with government requirements. They are expecting their funds to increase through a new tax imposed on the North America temples. Apparently, the school has suffered due to great inadequacies in the previous administration. But Jagadish just spent the last 4 months in Dallas trying to bring things to a higher standard. His letter was optimistic about future developments. I'm convinced we'll make good progress. That you will be pleased with what we're doing. What's more important, by millions of times than any other measure of success. That's more important by millions of times than any other measure of success. Since he had just reading a long letter to Jayatirtha covering these topics, Prabhupada did not reiterate his feelings but referred Jagadish to the Jayatirtha's letter. However, he did pick up again on the theme of finance, particularly the proposed taxing of the temples, as well as previous requests for a BBT loan. Actually, it is the responsibility of the parents to maintain Gurukul. By taxing the temples and taking loan from BBT, the parents are being allowed to avoid their responsibility. Before having a child, the parents should see whatever they shall be able to pay for the child's education. The GBC should make an injunction that if they beget children, then whatever the expenses are for supporting Gurukula, they must pay it. He requested Jayatirtha to discuss everything. He requested Jagadish to discuss everything with Jayatirtha. He is clearly attempting a major restructuring of the Gurukul and wants his GBC to take the burden as much as possible.
Gaurav,
Hare Krishna. In the early afternoon, immediately after lunch, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and I sat with Prabhupada on the sunlit veranda. He sat on a chair and we at his feet, simply relishing his divine presence and the transcendental atmosphere of the holy Dham. Prabhupada looked out through the arched porticos over his ISKCON compound and beyond the front gate. In the distance, glistening slavers of light danced on the tranquil surface of Mother Ganges as she flowed down to Navadvip town and then beyond, on her long pilgrimage from the Himalayas to the Bay of Bengal. It was wonderfully gratifying to see him so perfectly and naturally situated in his own environment, so to speak, and hear him talk about various aspects of the moment as he shared his philosophical insights into the world and life in general. He seems very much at ease in Mayapur. He loves to sit and look out over the flat and fertile land, its open fields stretching into the distance, the verdant landscape dotted with small green trees and occasional temple spires. A seemingly limitless expanse of rice paddies in every stage of development shows the results of the simple, honest labor of local villagers. Other fields yield carefully cultivated bounties of dal, sugarcane, vegetables, and other necessities of life. Men and beasts amble slowly up and down the road and along the rutted tracks. It seems the perfect place to meet one's basic requirements of maintaining body and soul together. and in the midst of this natural opulence, we are here, the grateful recipients of the generosity of His divine grace, who is so expertly revealing the true spiritual nature of ourselves, the Dham, and the all merciful Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the evening, a devotee brought the prototype of a new mridanga to show Srila Prabhupada. Instead of a clay shell, it had one of fiberglass, but was still fitted with leather straps and heads. Devotees in the West are working to produce a completely synthetic drum to replace the clay ones, which break easily. Prabhupada felt the shell was a little too thick and heavy, otherwise, he liked it. He even played a little on it himself, although he said he was out of practice. January 23rd, 1976. Srila Prabhupada took his walk across the fields to the proposed temple site. He discussed with Jayapataka Swami the possibility of convincing the government to give us the land we need for building the temple. In pursuance to this idea, he later dictated a letter for Jayapataka Swami to hand deliver to his New Delhi airport acquaintance Mr. Chaudhary, who works at the Department of Development and Planning in Calcutta. Prabhupada viewed that meeting as Krishna's arrangement. He wants that the government acquire the land for us, and fortuitously, this man works in the department that decides such matters. After briefly describing to Mr. Chaudhary the Mayapur project and his hopes of building an international city based on the Vedic culture, he requested him to visit Mayapur for further discussion. Mataji, should I continue?
I think Anushka Mata. Okay, Prabhuji. Anushka Mata, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, Anushka Mata will do.
Next. Every day, Srila Prabhupada gives an abundance of practical guidance, ranging from advice on purchasing land, setting a daily monetary rate for the painting of the front wall, advising on what goods to sell from the rooms near the front gate, to deciding the conditions of employment for the building construction workers. Jayapataka Maharaj has employed a huge number of men for the new building work. But today Prabhupada told him that if they can't get it finished by the festival, which is in 6 weeks, then he should reduce the number of men to only 50. Jayapataka Maharaj said he thought everything but the plumbing could be done. Srila Prabhupada said the plumbing and electricity are not important as long as the place is habitable. He told Jayapataka to get a guarantee from the contractor that the basic construction would definitely be finished on time. As he walked, he turned his attention on to the situation in Nellore. He confirmed to Gopal Krishna Prabhu that the foundation stone should be taken to Madras, which he said was a better place for a temple anyway. He also cautioned him that if we accept any charity from such a fallen women, then we will have to share in their sinful activity. But our Krishna can eat even fire, he added. If there is forest fire, Krishna can eat. Unless he is able to eat other sinful reactions, how can he say aham tum sarva pape vimokshishyami? He is capable. Otherwise, how can he say like that? The rest of the day, Prabhupada spent quietly in his room. He isn't lecturing in the mornings here, although he enjoys discussing a wide range of topics with his disciples and a few visitors in his room. At lunch, Prabhupada requested that I learn how to cook from Harikesha. January 24th, 1976. Each morning at Guru Puja, Prabhupada is personally giving out sweets to all the children. He sits on his Vyasasana as each child comes forward to receive his prasadam. There is a small 2-year-old boy from Australia called Damodar who persistently remains right in front of the Vyasasana each morning with his pudgy hand held out. Srila Prabhupada gives him half a sweet, which Damodar pushes into his mouth. Then he moves his hand over the back of his head, wipes his open palm on his shikha, and again holds it out. Again Prabhupada gives him another piece of sweet, and again Damodar repeats the ritual. There are no words exchanged, simply the boy's chubby palm goes out for the sweet, up to his mouth, over his head, and back again for more. This exchange with Damodar has gone on for several mornings now, and Srila Prabhupada laughs to see him wipe his hand in such a fashion. Who has taught him this? He asked. While this is going on, the other children leap and dance and chant. Adoration for Prabhupada and excitement to be in his presence shine in their eyes. It is obvious the young children are spontaneously attracted to Srila Prabhupada because they instinctively understand that he is their best friend. As he does each morning, at the end of the program, Prabhupada circumambulated the deities, accompanied by all the devotees and a Sankirtan party. He stopped to vigorously ring the bells and hanging from the ceiling on other side of the small temple room, causing everyone to loudly chant and jump in ecstasy. Mail continues to flow in steadily from around the world. One letter came from Pusta Krishna Swami in South Africa about the Mercedes car that he had promised to purchase for Prabhupada. He said that although he intends to pay for it himself, for now he has taken the money from Srila Prabhupada's book fund to finance the purchase. He intends to repay it later. Hearing this, Prabhupada shook his head. Smiling, he told us the story of the disciple who invited his guru to his home and gave him a grand reception with nice decorations, elaborate prasadam and all. The guru was delighted and amazed at such expenditure. "Oh, it is all coming from you, O spiritual master, it is all your mercy," said the disciple. The guru was pleased at this until he returned home to discover that it was really coming from him. For who, when he looked in his bank book, his balance was now zero.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Antramat.
I should stop reading that.
Yes, Mataji.
Should I continue?
Yes, Mata.
January 25th, 1976. Prabhupada decided to take his work on the roof of the temple building. On the way up, he inspected the top floor, where all the brahmacharis stay. He did not like what he saw. Everything was dirty and poorly maintained. Walking around the end of the veranda, he saw thick wire strung to the wall as a crude washing line, gauging groups in the plaster. He was very displeased. He soon got everyone into action, cleaning and rearranging everything. He ordered the brahmacharis to move immediately to the front wall dwellings, saying that the rooms in the temple for he commented that brahmacharis means it will be dirty. Jayapataka Swami has decorated the rooftop area with potted tulasi plants and various flowers and shrubs. There are two rooms on one on either side of the central stairwell where he and Bhavananda Maharaja stay. The flat roof offers ample space for walking, in addition to a panoramic view. From it, one can observe not only our whole compound but miles of open country. As we walked around, Anantarama Shastri joined us. Srila Prabhupada expressed his satisfaction that such an educated man has joined our movement, and he instructed Bhavananda Maharaja to make sure he is well looked after so that he may not go away. Although a somewhat self-conscious individual, Shastriji was eager to recite a poem he had composed for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. As we walked, and without asking first, he broke out into melodious verse, singing the praises of Bhagwan Sri Gopala, or at least it seemed so. His chanting was impressive to my untrained ear, but Srila Prabhupada was alert. When Shastri sang, Nachiye Nachiye Aile Gopala, my dear Gopala, please come to me dancing. Prabhupada stopped him. Don't manufacture knowledge. Take knowledge from Bhagwan. Don't order Bhagwan. Just follow Bhagwan. That is not wanted. Do not write concocted poetries. That is not beneficial. Simply follow. Srila Prabhupada told him that his singing was sense gratification because he was giving instruction to Gopala. Please come to me, nachiye, dancing. He stressed that our process is to take instruction. It is all nonsense. Why should you ask Gopala to come to you? You cannot order, you must follow. We are to carry out the order of God, not to order God. To carry out my order. That is mistake. Prabhupada went on for some time, condemning the attitude with which people generally approach God. He explained that in India they sing traditional arti song which repeats the words Sabko Sampatti De Bhagwan. De Bhagwan means give me. And in the West, he explained, the Christians also have the same idea. The whole world, Prabhupada observed, they have accepted God as order supplier. I order, you supply. The Christian church also, God give us our daily bread. And if God doesn't give, then God is dead. Tamala Krishna Maharaja added. Dead, that is going on. And our prayer is, I do not want anything. Simply engage me in your service. That is the real prayer, which is taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone next?
Just finish the last one. Mata. Finish this last one.
Jagataka Swami returned later in the day from Calcutta with a favorable report. Mr. Chowdhury and his family will come to visit Prabhupada on Sunday, February 1st. The man was very happy to see Jayapataka Maharaja and enthusiastic to help.
Okay, I'll read. Harikesha is becoming increasingly ill. He looks weak and emaciated and has no strength. It is all he can do just to cook Srila Prabhupada lunch. Prabhupada observed him going to the toilet just after eating breakfast. He shook his head and quoted in Bengali proverb, he who cannot sleep immediately upon resting and he who passes stool immediately after eating will very soon be called by Yamraja. On the other hand, he who passes stool before eating and urine after the physician cannot make a living form. In the evening, I came into Prabhupada's room just in time to catch the tail end of an hour-long conversation between Harikesha and Srila Prabhupada. Harikesha was posing questions about the descriptions of Vedic cosmology in the newly published fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Many confusing diagrams and captions have been included by the editors, and Prabhupada said that it will have to be revised because they have made mistakes. Harikesha was trying to clarify his own understanding of the position of the sun and the moon, the general structure of the universe, and the exact length of one yojana. I listened intently as Prabhupada described how the planets move within the universal cell. He pointed to the chandelier hanging from the ceiling and
Shall.
compared the situation of the lights with that of the planets. He explained that all the planets move in a unison around the pole star, and within that structure, the sun has its own orbit. Harikesha asked many questions until our ability to understand his explanation was stretched to the limit, and Prabhupada finally called it a halt. His knowledge appears fathomless. I sat and watched as he got up from his seat and moved towards the door, smiling all the while. He seemed to have deep serenity, to be carrying within himself a vast, limitless wellspring of knowledge and understanding, and to possess a beautiful sobriety of the soul that attracted my mind more than ever before. I became absorbed in the natural flow of his movement, the genitality of his demeanor, and the soft expressiveness of his features. Everything within the periphery of my vision, except Srila Prabhupada, began to recede and fade as he seemed to emanate an increasingly bright effulgence, filling the whole room.
We have some technical difficulties here.
I'm so sorry, Prabhu. I think the network.
Neha, were you reading?
Yes, yes. I think the network got network issue.
Can you take up? Yeah?
Yes, yes,
You think
Prabhuji.
you can go on, or shall we change?
Okay, anyone
You go
else
back. I
want?
cannot see the thing in here, the book.
Okay,
But I don't see the book.
I think Antramata, can you share the book?
Yes, Mata,
What happened?
somewhere.
Okay.
We're having technical adjustments. Stand by for more nectar. Well, you all can hear me, right? So meanwhile, the book's getting there. At that time, it was very common that a lot of the devotees, they have diarrhea. I don't know why, they go in the bathroom so many times a day. They get sick, maybe the chili, the different food, the new germs, they come in India, and have to deal with the body coming from America, who has a different set of, you know, bacteria and virus. So it was very common that devotees would feel like wiped out for some, you know, diarrhea program. So it was very common. What to do? Those were the times. We're still waiting for the book.
Is it showing?
Okay. Uh, wait.
It's January 24th.
Okay.
Papa decided to go.
Okay. This is very good instruction about this devotee singing this poetry, and Prabhupada correct him. He don't even think twice, Prabhupada's amazing.
Mata?
Yes, I'm seeing. Okay, Mata. Everything with the fairy of my vision.
Hmm.
Yes. So, shall I continue or anybody else want to read?
You go ahead and read a few paragraphs more just to keep
तो
going.
माता जी आई थिंक इससे ऊपर वाला पैराग्राफ रह गया था ये आई सैट एंड वॉच्ड एज यू गॉट अप
Okay. I sat and watched as he got up from his seat and moved toward the door, smiling all the while. He seemed to have deep serenity, to be carrying within himself a vast, limitless wellspring of knowledge and understanding, and to possess a beautiful sobriety of the soul that attracted my mind more than ever before. I became absorbed in the natural flow of his movement, the genitality of his demeanor, and the soft expressiveness of his features. Everything within the periphery of my vision, except Srila Prabhupada, began to recede and fade as he seemed to emanate an increasingly bright effulgence, filling the whole room and beyond. It wasn't an ordinary light, nothing that could be seen like the beams of a torch or bulb, but it was there, more subtle than the sunlight, expanding and shining through my mind and intelligence, pervading my consciousness, touching my soul. I became overwhelmed and appreciation of Prabhupada's purity and grace. The feeling of wanting absolutely nothing, whatever in life, other than to simply serve his lotus feet without any other concern, welled up in my heart. I never experienced a satisfaction greater than this. I felt it intensely, for perhaps the first time I experienced what I can only describe as feeling of unconditional surrender, an unequivocal love, fully devoid of any material distraction or selfish interest. His very being shone and radiated, pervading everything, and I was his eternal servant. It's hard to describe. It didn't seem that Prabhupada was doing anything more than he ever does. He's himself, but somehow, for once, my consciousness suddenly opened and became through the perceive, through enough to perceive him more clearly than ever before. And then he disappeared through the door and down the corridor, leaving me once again wondering just who he is really. Okay, next one.
Hare Krishna, Mata, I'll continue.
Okay.
Before Prabhupada took his work, he sat in his room and listened while Bhavanananda Maharaja read aloud a newly released pamphlet. It was from the neighboring Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and that is led by one of his prominent god brothers, Tirtha Maharaja. These propaganda pieces, written in somewhat convoluted prose, declared the glories of Tirtha Maharaja, making several outrage, uh, outrageous claims. The tract described him as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati most confidential disciple, almost a counterpart. It also stated that his preaching had attracted people from all over the world, that his math stretched for over a mile, while which would include ISKCON temple, and that 24-hour kirtana is going on there. Only our men are doing this. Obviously, he was trying to claim a status for himself that he does not deserve. Srila Prabhupada's reaction was very cool. He queried that if he is such a great personality, why does he have no advertise advertise it? Why is he trying to explain? He said, what is the use of explanations? If a great personality is unknown and he has to be known by explanatory notes, then how is he a great personality? Dis- Displeased with the false propaganda, Prabhupada told us if he is reciting such false things, how he can be a Vaishnava? He is simply a pawn and salesman. He was never very dear to Guru Maharaja, who feared that if he sent him away, he would cause much trouble. Therefore, he let him stay as manager, even though so many complaints were there against him. He shook his head with distaste.
Wow.
Whereas others yes, Prabhu.
No, amazing. Please carry on.
Whereas others trained their sons to mm, brahmacharis
Brahmacharis.
and sannyasis. Prabhupada continued, he trained his to be a lawyer. They sent their sons to the temple and Gurukula, but he sent his to the office because he always intended to go to court to take over the Gaudiya Mutt pro- propi- properties. Prabhu, what's the
Proprietorship.
pronunciation?
Proprietorship.
Proprietorship. His past is very black. I do not wish to discuss it. Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaja to keep the paper because these rascals they may create some trouble. Bhavanananda Maharaja told a story indicating that they were already creating trouble for us. Recently, Bhavanananda was detained and brought to court on kidnapping charges after a Bengali village woman and her son had joined our ashrama against the wishes of her husband. In court, our lawyer, reputedly the best in Nadia, asked Bhavanananda who was behind it all. The lawyer said the husband was a simple village laborer who would not have had the intelligence nor the money to bring such a case. The lawyer was convinced that the man had been put up to it by one of the Gauriya Mutt members attempting to harass us. Mata, anyone next? Continue, please. Okay. Recently, members from the Chaitanya Gauriya Mutt proposed that we link with them, but despite Srila Prabhupada having gone there several times, Tirtha Maharaja will not visit Mayapura Chandrodaya Mandir. Srila Prabhupada responded that he only wants to connection in order to capitalize on Prabhupada preaching success to claim it for himself. If Western devotees go to his mud, it will increase his prestige. Obviously, 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 disagreeing with the idea that Treta Maharaja is a senior preacher to himself, Prabhupada named two other prominent god brothers in Navadvipa, Madhava and Maharajas, who have a similar frame of mind. Prabhupada told us that was the policy that although Bhaktivedanta Swami is propagating throughout, he is subordinate to us under our instruction. He rose and went up onto the roof for his work, and as we walked around the perimeter, he talked extensively about Vedic culture, giving fascinating insights into the psychology. Prabhupada recalled that firmly at least before Indian independence, people will still very honorable. He remembered one lawyer whose father had died insolvent, owing many lakhs of rupees. When he became a wealthy barrister, he then called all his father's creditors and repaid them. He said that He said that this is the law of Manu. If a son inherits all his assets of his father, must also inherit all his debts. However, a father leaving his son large debts means he is an enemy. One would never expect to find an enemy within his own family. But according to Chanakya Pandit, there are four enemies in the family. A father who dies a debtor, a son who is a rascal, a mother who marries again, and a beautiful wife. Now everyone is hankering after very beautiful wife, and Chanakya Pandit said, then you are bringing one enemy. Just see what is the type of civilization, because if you become too much attached to wife, then you will never be able to go out of home and take sannyas. Of course, he added, laughing, of everyone's wife is very attractive. Even if ugly, Tamal Krishna Maharaja chimed in. Yes, it is in one's eye that she is very beautiful. It does not require others' recommendation. It does not matter whether she is low caste or high caste. If she is attractive, then it is all right. Therefore, uh, Rupavati Bharya Satrur. Chanakya Pandit's instructions are very, very nice. Prabhupada laughed as he recounted how his father had saved him from his material entangle, entanglement. You know, you know my story. My father's instruction, he asked us. We smiled eagerly and crowded in a little more to hear. Yes, my wife was never beautiful to my sight, so I wanted to marry again, and my father advised, don't do it. She is your friend. Then that you don't like her, just see. But still, Prabhupada, you said that your schoolwork was a little im- impeded.
Impeded.
Impeded. Tamal Krishna said, no, that is natural. In young time, when there is young girl, that is also said, Yaubane Kukkari Sundari. When a woman is in full youth, even she is like a dog, she is beautiful. Everyone laughed loudly, and Tamal Krishna asked whose statement that was. I do not know, but this is going on. Prabhupada grind as usual.
Green
We
it, green
have
it.
granted. We have he have the philosophical underpinning. It is by nature's arrangement that a woman is given one chance at the time of youthfulness. Otherwise, how she will be given protection by a man? They require protection. If somebody is not attracted, then how she gets protection? This is natural. He revealed the psychology of arranged marriages, still prevalent in India. In the West, this practice is considered objectionable and no one understands its true purpose. But a spiritually based society is different. The social system in India is that a boy, say 20 or 25 years, and a girl 12 or 16 years, they must be married. They just be married, and therefore marriage the girl should not see any boy and the boy should not see any woman, then life is all right. Nowadays, it has been practiced that the boy goes to see the girl, but from formerly it was not so. He should see the girl when the marriage actually takes place, not before that. The psychology is that when they require a man or a girl, so whatever she is or he is, they accept and remain remain
chaste.
chaste, so there is no separation. He strongly denounced the defective cultureless modern civilization, comparing it to a society of pigs, because the pig has no discrimination in the matter of eating and having sex. They eat anything and have sex even with their intimated relatives. He declared
Okay,
that, oh,
we go for the next person now. Thank you, Prabhuji. Who is the next?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
He declared that overall people are acting on the level of animals. He quoted the Srimad Bhagavatam's description of democracy. People who are like hogs, dogs, camels, and asses glorify and vote in as their leaders other big animals. Just study whether it is not the civilization of asses and pigs. You have to understand first of all, is it not? He gave a succinct one sentence appraisal of modern life. They are working hard like an ass just to become an ideal pig. Is it not? This civilization? Yes. How Shastra has picked up the example, just see. Naya deho deha bhaja nirloke kashtan kaman arhate vid bhuja ye. This is not civilization. Yes, Prabhuji. Akash Prabhu, please continue. Okay.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। मैं ये बोल रहा था आप पहले कर लो, देन उसके बाद मैं करूंगा। सॉरी डिस्टर्ब के लिए।
मैंने पहले भी कर लिया है, आप प्लीज कंटिन्यू कर लीजिए।
ओके प्रभु जी। सो कहाँ तक आपने किया प्रभु जी?
यहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है। दिस इज सिविलाइजेशन तपस्या नो मीट।
ओके, सॉरी प्रभु जी डिस्टर्ब के लिए।
Thank you.
So this is civilization tapasya, no meat eating, no this, know that, and become perfect, ideal, Brahmana life. This is civilization, Athato Brahma, Jesus. Unless you become civilized like this, there is no opportunity of Brahma, Jesus, and so long. You do not inquire about Brahman, that you remain that pigs and hogs and asses whole day and night eat stool, and as soon as you get another opposite party have sex, does not matter whether it has it is daughter or mother or sister. That's all. Take Freud philosophy and become highly advanced and civilization. Now Freud philosophy is being translated in Hindi and so many others languages. We are advancing in civilization. Indians, they are translating this Freud's philosophy peak civilization. He loved people, therefore do not come to us. They avoid us because they devotees are not pigs. A telegram arrived from Mahasha Swami in the south. Nellore lady refused relaxing condition, please advise. It seems Mahasha had not yet received Prabhupada's letter written on 18th, so Prabhupada reiterated his clear and simple instruction. There should be no relaxing of condition on our part. We can't either purchase or accept charity, but we cannot accept any of their condition. When he signed the letter later in the day, he added in his own handwriting, if they decline, they try to acquire the land through government because we have already installed the foundation stone. Sometimes during his evening messages, Prabhupada chats a little before sleeping. This evening, as he lay on his bed in the quiet semi-darkness with the perched cross-legged alongside him, he asked if there were any mosquitoes inside net. It is such a cruel animal, he said. I asked if the living entity obtained that sort of body because it desired of harm others. Prabhupada said, yes, it want to drink the blood of others. So it is given facility, but only a very small body, so it can only take less that than a drop. it has one pipe and inlays. Then a second, it can immediately penetrate the skin. So wonderful is its creation. But he added that still nature has an arrangement whereby before biting the mosquito buzzes in the ear just to warn its victim. I am here. The scientists cannot make even one such mosquito yet. They claim God does not exist. He said, every night when Srila Prabhupada take his rest, Anand Dubhi come into Prabhupada works room to set up a very large square net over his desk and asana so that he can translate in the night without botheration. The net is almost like a small tent, and sometimes mosquitoes get trapped inside it during its erection. Therefore, I have developed that habit of checking if checking it after finish Srila Prabhupada messages in the bedrooms. I sit inside it for a minute or so and capture and remove any that may have been trapped. Last evening, I was attempting to remove a couple of the unfriendly insects when, to my surprise, Prabhupada also entered under the protective canopy to begin his night work. He was sitting behind his desk unperturbed as on my hands and knees on the other side, tracked down one last mosquito I had his woolen cap in my hand, using it as a sweater. Seeing my prey settled high up in one corner of the net, I swung, whoop. That tiny body of fell to the ground. Apparently dead, I was not too happy at having killed it, but what could be done? If it was not removed, it would bite Srila Prabhupada all night, disturb his translation work, and maybe even give him malaria. I picked up the cord and tossed it out from under the net. It landed a few inches away on the clean white seats. Prabhupada silently watched the whole procedure. What happened, Prabhuji?
It's funny. Prabhupada watching. Carry on.
Yes.
Suddenly,
Okay, Prabhu. Suddenly, as we both looked on, its tired, shook its wings and flew off. It was not dead after all. Srila Prabhupada gave a happy exclaim. Oh, Hare Krishna! He was very pleased to see that I had only stunned my query. It too was happy and become more. So when he narrated similar history of his own, I also did this. One insect was buzzing. It was very annoying, and I gave it slap, and it fell down. His face softened with compassion and regret. Then I was very sorry. Oh, I have killed this poor creature, but suddenly I got up and flew off. Oh, then I was very glad. His remembrance gave me another revealing glimpse of Srila Prabhupada's kindness and concern for every living being, even those that might aggressors. I felt happy escaped an offense to the mosquito and privileged to have shared a moment of intimate confession with Srila Prabhupada. January
Okay, okay,
27,
Prabhuji.
1976. Okay.
Neha,
Next.
what is it, Neha? Talk to me.
Prabhuji, one more
Next.
Mataji wants to read, but
Okay.
can we extend
Hare
the
Krishna.
Yeah, it's okay with me. Read few paragraphs. Who is the Mataji?
Bhumita Mata?
Hare Krishna,
Oh,
Prabhuji,
Keshav
Pranam.
Subangi. How nice to see you.
Happy Makar Sankranti, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Happy Mahasankranti to all of you. Today is a good time to make vow to accomplish something. Then it's a good time. Okay?
okay,
Okay, carry on.
Bhumita Mata, you can read.
This morning, Mahamaya Dasi, one of the Western ladies, serving here in Mayapur, gave me a polite note requesting me to ask Srila Prabhupada a question for her. She wanted to know whether women could be allowed into the temple room during menstruation. If so, she asked, should they wear silken garments? The reason she asked was because ladies in India generally do not enter the temple during this time. I broached the subject with his divine grace after his morning nap. He immediately became disturbed and, without replying to my question, sent me to get Tamal Krishna Maharaj. When Tamal came in, Prabhupada asked him, what is this? He is Brahmachari and he is being approached by this woman. I explained to Tamal Krishna what the inquiry was and showed him the note. He then assured Srila Prabhupada that things were not what they seemed. He described the letter as very discreet and polite. Having been signed, the Matajis of Mayapur. Apart from that, Tamal Krishna said, Hari Sauri is actually a householder, although I wear white clothes because I have never once made any reference to my wife. Srila Prabhupada assumed that I was a brahmachari. Prabhupada gave a diffident smile. Oh, I thought he was brahmachari and he is being approached by some woman for this. Now I can understand it is all right. So he gave his permission for the ladies to attend the temple function and approved the wearing of silk. Later they were duly informed. Prabhupada's reaction was all the more endearing, not just because of the vigilance he demonstrated in protecting his disciples' spiritual life, but also because he was completely free from any false ego in the matter. He did not become at all defensive when he saw that things were not quite what he had first thought. Rather, he showed his purity and an absence of false ego by his humble and objective response. Every day I try to give Prabhupada a really good workout during his massage for at least 1.5 hours. I rub, squeeze, and knead his body while he sits meditatively. Tamal Krishna Maharaja mentioned to me that on the day he had given Prabhupada his massage in Calcutta, he had noticed that when no one else was present, his body was very soft and supple. But as soon as a visitor entered, Prabhupada became alert and his body tensed up. It is a fact here in Mayapur, with no visitors to speak of, he sits so relaxed and quiet that he practically seems unaware that I am massaging him at all. Several times he has inquired when I have completed my work whether I was finished or not. It is almost like someone taking their car into a garage for a service, going off for an hour or so, and then returning to inquire whether everything is done.
Okay,
January
Mataji.
27,
Thank you, Mata. So this is our cutoff place. Thank you, Momila, right? Momita. January 28th, we start next Wednesday. I want to thank you all for coming here. This is very nice. I enjoy very much. This is the time I was coming to Mayapur in 1976, and a lot of things saying there, I personally witnessed at that time, and there is more nectar to come. Okay? Thank you, you all. Hare Krishna. With your blessings, I take my leave. Hare Krishna. I'll see you all Sunday.